this was new language for me. This whole notion of social entrepreneurship or social social ventures was new language. So the boot camp was very helpful to me in helping kind of spark my thinking about what we might be able to do.
I really started with absolutely no knowledge, and I came out of it feeling really confident that I had a really great idea, and I also knew generally what the next steps were for me to make it happen.
I think that this boot camp has actually given me more things that I could do in retirement than the MBA degree.
So I hadn't thought about very much about what it means to develop a revenue stream. I hadn't thought very much about how this boot camp could help me to begin to think about ministry, not in a congregation, because I work with congregations around Northern California and in Nevada, but how I could help them begin to dream about what might be, how they might develop their own revenue stream.
Figuring out what it was that the customer needed was really helpful for me to just think through that part instead of just jumping to my solution. Spending some time understanding what my customers' lives are like and hearing what they're saying about what they need, I think is the key to the whole process.
One of the things, the tools, is that you don't have an idea until you take it out and test it, and somebody says, "Yeah, I want that."
They were speaking my language, and so I could understand, and I could trust that they understood my situation. So their comments, they landed well for me. And I also felt like I had something to give to my colleagues, that they were thinking about some projects that I had done before, and I had some insight or some things to share from my own experience.
I think for me, the aha moment was to think, to realize that this work of connecting ministry and community in some way, there are signs for me that how we think of church is changing, and what the role of church is in the community is changing. And I think while that can be daunting and is a little bit frightening, it can also be really exciting.
I think it's having more than one person look at it, and having a peer look at it is great. They understand what you're doing. And then there is the take it out to even more people that maybe aren't your peers but would be using it. So get that feedback and make sure that people really want it, or else it's not going to go into place.
Being able to talk through with one other person about what she was wanting to do, and to share what I was wanting to do, and to just to have that one-on-one time of asking questions, of affirming one another, of being, sometimes you can be asked a question that sparks a whole other way of thinking, something I'd not thought of before. And I just found that whole experience very helpful.
And so, yeah, how do we ourselves shift, and how do we help our community shift in thinking about our resources and how they can generate revenue for the larger mission of our church?